Thanksgiving week, you little turkeys. How about Andrew Whitworth being on the show? We have Chad Ochocinco on the program, stopping by to talk about the Bengals. Joe Burrow, should he stay or should he go? On Thursday against the Ravens, a big Madden game. So Chad Ochocinco is here to get us set for that. And we will break down all the things. I was at the most exciting game of the day. Who knew that was at Ford Field in Detroit? Much to get to, so little time. We have an hour with Andrew Whitworth, with Chad Ochocinco. I'm getting my bearings and my wits about me. Whit, of course, has his podcast with Ryan Fitzpatrick. They had Devontae Adams on. And I got to say, Hammond, I know we're going to get into this, like the Rams are the belle of the ball. It's them and everyone else. And truly, and you could say, like, I'm not talking AFC, NFC. Like, it's sort of, it's not always that we have an undeniable one and everybody else that everyone can agree on. Even when the Chiefs are on top, no one will admit or cop to that. We'll get to the Chiefs, of course. But I feel like it is the Rams and the Rams alone, wherever you might be. Look at that background. Okay, buddy.
But yeah, it really is right now. The way that they dominated that game last night, the way they've been dominating lately. I know Eagles fans can say, "Oh, well, we beat the Rams earlier in the season," but it's not earlier in the season right now. We are getting to the home stretch here, and nobody's playing better football than LA.
It's true. And in the AFC, that's the Patriots alone. Now let's get into some of our takes. Hamilton's here. We've got Andrew Whit with Chad Ochocinco. We've got our Monday night secret menu to get to as well. So the Pats now have a 3-game lead on Buffalo, of course. They're sitting there at double-digit wins, 10-2. Ravens move into the AFC North lead. If we look at things, the Steelers now in the playoff, which is absolutely amazing. They're out of the playoff picture. Sorry, the Steelers. The Ravens in the top spot as FanDuel Sportsbook had it all along, even though I questioned it every step of the way. Baltimore now minus 425 to finish it off and win the North. And even after the loss at Kansas City, the Colts still have faves to win the AFC at plus 490. Narrow lead over the Chiefs, Patriots, and Broncos. If we take a look at the NFC side of things, Rams alone at the top. Like we said, 3 games against teams with a winning record, by the way. And they just want home field. How can they do that? How can they not have to go burr it up with the Eagles, who fell yesterday in crazy dramatic fashion? They slipped to the 2 seed. They just I don't even know what they did. The first 20 minutes, gorge, great. I was hopping on a plane, happy as a little clam. Okay, Eagles. And then no, Dallas comes marching back. George Pickens, the deep threat that he is. Black Friday game with the Bears, by the way, potential 1 seed implications. Chicago's won 8 of 9, and you've got people tweeting, are they the best team in the land, best team in the world, potentially? I don't know. Lions on the outside looking in still, which is actually insane. That's truly insane, the way that Gibbs looks, that offense looks, and it was a little, you let the Giants hang around, whatever. Tough team. Tough team. They were 7-4. And then we've got Panthers-Niners tonight, and if the Panthers, in fact, people, beat the Niners, Carolina moves into first place in the NFC South. How about that? Bucks drop outside of the playoff picture entirely. Bucks, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to make of these Bucks, because you could just say they ran into a couple of teams that are better than them, which they are. They've also been here before, where they have these weird skids and then end up winning the division and going to the playoffs. The Rams are the top dog, the head of the food chain. That's that. And it was all over in like 20 minutes. Okay. The Rams, if they didn't even like get on the field in the second half, Stafford could have thrown 6 touchdowns in this one. It's insane. And forget the MVP, which Matthew Stafford, of course, the heavy favorite on FanDuel Sportsbook right now to win at minus 220. The first time anyone has had minus odds since the year started, mind you, but he is having the greatest season ever. One of the greatest quarterback seasons. And I mean it. 30 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. Who is this? 11 games. That is bananas. He's now thrown 27 straight touchdown passes without an interception, which is the longest streak in a single season in NFL history. And by the way, they have the #1 scoring defense right now, too. So even if you have found a way to keep Matthew from having a day like this, they're still probably going to win, and it is impossible to beat or stop them, or it's just wild. It's kind of fun to watch. And the Rams, of course, they're alone. They're the clear-cut Super Bowl faves, plus 430 as of this morning. Eagles still second. Chiefs jump into third. Lions, Colts, and Seahawks 3-way tie for fourth. As for the Bucs side of this, Tim Allen and Home Improvement would have got That's how I feel. That's what he does there when he's not happy. That's what I'm feeling this morning. Okay. And maybe I just came up with that reference because subconsciously my mind is in Detroit, where I do believe Home Improvement on TJF was based out of. I think it was a Detroit, Michigan show. Anyway, Baker Mayfield, there's concerns here. Injuries always a concern. I feel like with the Bucks a little bit, but he sat out. His shoulders in a sling. You hate to see it. Beyond that, these 3 straight games, not great. This has happened in the middle of a season for the 3rd straight year. I don't know why. They always finish strong. So do I have faith? Sure, but I don't want them to just finish strong and win the division. We want to have a contending conversation with these Buccaneers. I was hoping this year would be different. If you're a Bucs fan, you have to hope things aren't too serious for Baker and the like, because they can't do it without him. Oh, there's me. And we'll have to see. As far as the odds are concerned, you guys, can take a look over on FanDuel Sportsbook. The Panthers right on their heels as far as the standings are concerned. Let's flip over to Kansas City, because are we in? Are we in on Kansas City? The Chiefs finally win a 1-score game, which we love. Let's take a look at this 4th quarter situation here, because they get into this. The Chiefs sort of come alive here. They're down 11, the season on the line. And here is what an Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes team does. Dominant finish. Chiefs outgain the Colts, an absurd 236-18 in the 4th quarter in overtime. Spags defense forces 4 consecutive 3-and-outs. They hold Jonathan Taylor, which Spags does. He did it to Saquon last year in the Super Bowl, and Jalen was able to overcome it. They did the same vibe with Jonathan Taylor. 1 rushing yard on 4 carries. I don't know. This was like a takeover by a team. Daniel Jones could not pull it out. The offense with the Colts could not pull it out. And it was a type of performance that does sort of maybe do something for them and say, oh, now we got it. Let's lock in. It's all clicking. Let's go. We like to be under stress to perform. I'm familiar with this, and that's what they do. And then maybe they go back to a Super Bowl. I don't know. They're only like a half game back of getting a wild card. I do know that. They got the momentum on their side. Kareem Hunt, first 100-yard rushing game in over a year. The offense felt like it had the balance that we were looking forward to and expecting this year. They ran 37 times overall with gentlemen not named Patrick Mahomes. There was no lead rusher Patrick Mahomes vibe going on here. And what does that do? It'll make the passing game more explosive, which is great. This Thanksgiving game, huge. Thanksgiving afternoon against the Cowboys. This is one of the biggest matchups of the year. Congrats to Mike North. For putting the schedule together like this. He must have known. He must have had the inkling. I mean, this is one of these teams is going to go right back into the thick of the playoff race. And it is do or die for both these squads. You guys can definitely hit us up on social. We are going to have Andrew Whitworth on the show. Chad Ochocinco is joining the program as well, so we're excited about that. But let's get to some attaboys. We like to dish out. These are for the performances. Maybe not everybody saw. I haven't seen every performance either, so you guys have to hit me up because I did not see every second of every game yesterday. I was at the Lions game against the Giants, so tried to catch up as much as I could at Up and Adam Show with your thoughts on who deserves some love after performances. And I'm going to start with where I was. I'm going to be where my feet were, and they were at Ford Field in a suite with a flag, right? So every suite, it's so funny. Every if you're on the suite level at Ford Field, I guess you have a responsibility. Hamilton, do you know about this? I know we can re-rack the attaboys. Are you aware of this?
No, I don't. I don't know about this.
I'm not fully aware, but I guess you have in every suite you have a big Lions flag, and it says something, but it was too long for me to be able to. I couldn't lock in, so I didn't read it. But when you score, it's like a true responsibility. I loved this. It was a true responsibility on the suite to wave the flag, to and you do it for a while. You do it, and then you have to wait for the extra point or whatever too. And you have to keep doing it. And it's they're, and you think it's super corpy, right? Super corporate, super, but it's, a lot of sweater vests and matchas and quarter zips, but no, even those people are so into it. So I got to, Jahmyr Gibbs, they finally started giving the ball in space. Thank goodness you and I are texting about it. And then I had to do this flag thing for the longest time. It was on my Instagram story. We should have ripped footage of it. But I thought it was very cool and something that not ever having to go to a game, I've never noticed. I've never The overtime sack obviously was amazing. But anyway, I say all this to say this. Let's get to attaboys because there were several we could dish out in this performance. Yeah, but we got to start with our guy Jahmyr Gibbs, who looks like he's in fast forward. He looks like he's playing with people half his size, age, weight, speed, all of that. Like, it's absolutely absurd what he looks like from a bird's eye view in person and, of course, on everybody's TV screens. And he had this insane 219 rush yard game on 14.6 yards per carry. Okay, 14.6 between me eating caramel apples and brownies and the cheeseburgers and the like. I was racking up doing the math of this 14.6. It's unbelievable. He had 11 catches in this one, 3 touchdowns. I had to wave that flag. At least I got a little bicep tricep action going on for me at the workout. Game winner on the first play of overtime. Attaboy to him. He was averaging 5.2 yards per carry on the season coming into this one. Full yard. He went up a full yard to 6.2 yesterday. So 5 touchdowns from passing Barry Sanders for the most ever through a player's 3 career seasons. I don't know if I've ever seen a running back quite like him. The electricity, the hands, the way it just seems like he's operating at a different speed out there. He's truly one of one. And let's move on to JSN. JSN deserves a big time attaboy because 8 catches, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns in the win over the Titans, and just 11 games into the season, he's already broken DK Metcalf's single season record with 1,313 yards. Attaboy to him. He's gone over 100 in 6 of his last 7. He's on pace to break Calvin Johnson's record and become the first 2,000-yard receiver in NFL history. It is incredible that he gets all this attention from opposing defenses. Everyone knows he's who you got to stop. Stop that show. And no one can do it. No one's come close to doing it this year. And he's just really been undeniable as a top wide receiver and the best receiver in football this year. We'll see if Chad Ochocinco wants to give him some love. Do we boost him in something? I don't know. The last attaboy of the week for week 12 is we should probably go defense. And I think we have to go with Myles Garrett because 3 sacks. I'm looking at the stat line right now. 3 sacks in the win over the Raiders. He's now up to 18 on the year already. That means he needs 5 over the last 6 to break Strahan's record. That's insane. He's on a monster run monster run. 13 sacks in the last 4 games. Is that true? That's crazy. I want to show you a list of the guys in NFL history who have done that. 13 sacks in 4 games, okay? We looked it up. There's no list. There's literally no list. No one has done that. Myles stands alone. He's the overwhelming DPOY favorite. How do you not give it to him? I don't know. Minus 750 to take it home. Micah Parsons, I believe, pretty far away from that. Okay, we're going to take a short break here. We got our Monday night menu. We will have Andrew Whitworth. We will have Chad Ochocinco. We are excited about Thanksgiving, just 3 shows, and we are done working, which will be fun to just catch up on some football. We'll be back. Cam, can you make the font bigger on this? Can you make the font bigger on this?
Yep, I got you.
Are you seeing my text, Hamilton? You're on this thing, right?
Yeah.
Whitworth. Ooh, Whitworth has some what now? Oh, he's good.
He just had some technical difficulties. Had to log back in. He's good.
I have a delivery from Kat, huh?
There you go.
What is this?
Oh boy.
I don't want to know.
Is that your matcha?
Catherine? Secret menu item? Can it be like a salad? Brussels sprouts. Yeah, I'm not going to do it because I had to get the stuff. Not ready to go. Why can't we do it in another break? We have Chad in. Yeah. Maybe we can do it in the show. Why don't we just flash it on screen before? Let me see if I can get this. You know what? That box you just saw, want to know what's in there?
I don't know that I do.
I think it's remote controlled, battery operated gloves socks.
Why do we need those?
Because I'm going to be freezing my you know what off.
In Baltimore, come on.
In Baltimore. I haven't looked at the weather. But I do believe that my friend, Chad Ochocinco, who will be on the show, shares my vibes.
Yeah.
I believe he also is not a man. This looks. I don't.
Yeah, it's going to get pretty
I'll have
cold.
to do a whole. I'll have to do a, how cold?
Low of 31.
Yeah, that's gonna. Yeah, I was not made. I was not made for the side for that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But I'm gonna have. The thing about this is funny is that like will I charge any of this? Will any of this be charged? That was my big drama this morning. I was like, oh no, I have to like make sure the charger can fit here. You know, will I charge this thing?
No. No chance.
Thanks for the font.
From 24, high snap that he brings down. Davante Adams got another one! Touchdown, Rams! Into the tunnel he goes!
A friend of the Fitz and Wit show, Davante Adams there. Andrew Whitworth is here, three-time All-Pro tackle. Loved the interview with my guy Adams. This offense looks crazy. Happy birthday to your co-host, by the way, 43 years old for Fitzy.
Birthday, man. Happy birthday, Fitzpatrick. Fitzmagic, baby.
What are you getting it?
You know what? That's a tough one. Probably a Guinness. He's a big Guinness guy. I'll get him a fresh. It's got to be on tap though, so I'll get him a nice Guinness when we get to town this week.
I love that. Well, Davante got the Fitz and Wit magic. He had like that little bump that we say. He goes on a podcast and he absolutely crushes it. Of course, he's been doing that all season long. What was your takeaway yesterday? I just talked about it for 10 minutes. Like it's the Rams and everybody else. It's kind of nice to have an undeniable best team ever. Like if I went on the streets of New York right now and asked 100 football fans, I think they'd all agree for the first time maybe ever that universally it's the Rams and everybody else.
Yeah, you know what? That was one of those performances you want to see because sometimes after big games, when you have one like they had against Seattle, you kind of see a letdown in a team. And for them to come out and play to that way, I think it really speaks to how good of a football team they are in the sense that it's really balanced. I mean, everything they do, defensively, offensively, they are really strong on both sides of the football. And I think for me, it was a lot of fun, Kate, because you can imagine on Thursday night, we had a little bit of a debate in post game about who the best team in the NFC was, and I had to listen to Sherman Fitz talk about the what ifs of the Seattle Seahawks, but there's no what ifs with the Rams. They are who they are. They came out with another great performance against a really good football team in the Bucs, and I think right now it's hard to argue that they're not the best team in the NFC. And you know what? I'd probably say they're the best team in the NFL right now.
Ooh, you're looking very cozy, very Christmassy. We love it. And we have seen together, you playing, me being a fan, we've seen Stafford put together this Hall of Fame career, right? A Super Bowl win. I don't know that we've seen this level from him. The touchdown, interception ratio, all of that. He's really on another level. What looks, I can't say different because he's already a Hall of Famer without it. But what do you attribute this incredible performance to?
I think sometimes as you play longer, I really do believe this when you talk to a lot of veteran guys who kind of hit that stretch at the back end of their career and you end up somewhere where you're really happy, you're in a great culture and environment, and you kind of find your vibe. And I think that Stafford has found his kind of groove that he's in. He's confident in his football team, his head coach, the guys around him. His girls are growing up. Him and Kelly are raising kids. I just think he's settled, and so he's like, man, this is my rhythm. Week in and week out, year long, I'm going to be getting ready to be the best quarterback possible every week. And I'm just so grateful to even get to be here. You think of what he went through in Detroit. You think of some of the seasons that he fought through to be here in LA, to have a great football team and feel like every single week, if they go out and play their best, they can win. I think that puts you in a headspace where you're like, man, this is about to be fun. I'm about to go wing it and just play my absolute best. There's no stress. There's nothing for me to worry about. Go out here and try to cap the back end of my career and possibly get me another Super Bowl. And I think that's the mindset he's in is what does it look like every single day to just chase another opportunity to sit on top of the world as a champion?
And he's healthy. They're healthy. It's like
Hey,
so that,
listen, he pulled it over on us in camp. Listen, even I was
yeah.
nervous. I mean, I played golf with him in the off season, and it just, man, I was nervous. I was like, man, wait, maybe he's not telling me something, and something's going on. But he's feeling good. Him and Devontae, obviously, it took a little bit there at the beginning of the year for them to find their vibe, and now they've got it. And listen, Devontae's not going out there and just scoring touchdowns, Kay. I mean, the guy goes out and he loves the game of golf. I went out with him here recently. The guy was
Yeah.
even par after 9 holes.
Really?
He's not just dominating on the football
Crazy.
field. The guy is getting better and better at golf. He's just a freak athlete. Let's be honest. I don't even understand it. I couldn't play golf during the season. He can walk out, play around the golf, go on a Sunday, catch a couple touchdown passes, and do it all over again next week.
Stop by the Taco Bell, do all of that. And he's helping. I think Stafford, I mean, he might be not the difference, but I'm sure he's added to what this incredible season's been. I mean, Stafford literally has 27 straight touchdowns without an interception. He's tying Brady for the longest streak with that. He's the MVP favorite. We think about his legacy. Hall of Famer, we know that. What does an MVP mean? We were saying like, because it almost seems like he's playing with house money or something, what you're saying. Like he's settled, he's good, he doesn't have to prove anything. But he's never gotten an MVP. That would be pretty cool for him.
You know what? I look at it, Kay, is it's less about his legacy as much as I think he deserves it. I mean, I think when we talk about a guy who I just think it'd be so cool to see him get it because of what he went through in Detroit. You think of the seasons there that we've seen all the clips, like when he plays through the injuries and really just seasons where sometimes they didn't have a chance to compete, but they were going to go out and be their best as they could be. And then you get to LA, you get this opportunity. He seized it. He's continued to thrive and really even find even better versions of himself as far as just continuing to put together winning performances. And he continues at the same time to be the chillest, coolest dude ever. I call him the John Wayne of quarterbacks, man. He's just like the baddest cowboy in the bar who doesn't need to impress anybody. And that's just who he is. And so I just think for me, it's about when I say deserve it, like this dude's had a career that deserves to be, honored. And I think that it would be so cool to see him get that MVP because I think it's something that really puts him on a pedestal with guys that he should be on. And I think it puts him in his rightful place.
Beautifully said, and I hope he gets it. It would be very, very cool, and one for the old guys. Love that for him. The
Always.
Chiefs.
No, I'm always fighting for the old guys.
The Chiefs, I don't know what to think of them. I almost took the bait. I almost was like, I just feel like they can't get up. Like if you can't get up against the Broncos and the body language, I was like, I don't know. I don't think this is their season. And now, of course, yesterday, they hold Indy's #1 ranked offense to their worst total yardage of the year. And Patricked in the fourth quarter. In your eyes, what did this performance do?
Well, I mean, most of the time I'm just used to the Chiefs making me look stupid in November and December because every year I feel like I sit here and say that, this is the year, it's somebody else's time. And then this is what they do. They go out and they put performances like this together. And then you start looking at the standings and you go, wait, these guys have an exact path to just get themselves in the playoffs and make another one of these runs. And that performance yesterday, again, having their best players step up when they need to, you felt their impact and you felt like, hey, when it came to closing time, to me, what you really saw that second half, that looked like playoff football. And it looked like, hey, everything's on the line. We're fighting for everything for our season in this moment. And they go out and shut down the Colts offensively, hold them to at least first downs all season. It's one of those vintage Chiefs performances that they seem to be able to find a way to just replicate week in and week out when we get to this time of year. But the biggest problem for them has been the inconsistency and it's been the start. I keep saying that anytime you start where they did, you're just behind. So they are still up against the wall here where there's not a lot of room for error. So they got to put these performances together to finish the season now to get themselves a chance to go compete for that Super Bowl.
Do you think they'll get in?
I think they will just because they seem inevitable. It just seems like, when we get down to this part of the year, it's the same argument I made when we were talking about Seahawks Rams is that it's nothing against Sam Darnold. He's been awesome this year. But when we get to this time of the year, it just feels like find the quarterbacks that you trust the most. And it's those teams just seem like they end up with those chances to go compete for Super Bowls. And so, I believe that Patrick Mahomes will find a way to put them in position to go compete for a Super Bowl. Do I think that they're a Super Bowl team this year? I'll say it again and probably be wrong again. I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl and I don't think they're going to win it. But you know what? They've proved me wrong many years in a row. So, it might happen.
It's great analysis. I don't quite know what to do with them, but I always sense when I'm saying something almost negative, like I'm going to be clipped. and played
Yep.
somewhere. Like you kind of just know it's like, oh, this isn't going to end well for me. There's some sort of
It's like
guttural.
when every person on the panel picks the one team. You know that the
Yes,
other team's winning, and you're going to get cooked. And you know what? It is what it is.
it
I
is.
got to say, but it's going to.
Andrew, it's so true. We have Ocho Cinco joining the show in a bit. I'm sure he'll want to pop on and say hi to. Shared some seasons, several of them, of course, in Cincinnati. I want to ask about the Colts. I like the Colts. Of course I do. They're a great story. The run game, all of that. But in these 3 losses that they have, if I could just put up 3 fingers instead of 2 for 1 second, in these 3 losses this is the concern. Jonathan Taylor's averaging 60 rushing yards per game in these losses compared to 127 a game in wins. So Spag stuffs him. They can't win. That's what it seems like. How do you remedy that to be better in
Yeah,
these games when defensive
that's my
coordinators
biggest concern.
take him away?
Yeah, that's been the concern because you look at it, even when you have those conversations, you start to try to stack the AFC and say who's good and who's not, and who you think you believe in to go make that run. I think that's the reason the Chiefs are in it, because if we look at all those top teams up there, if it's Indy, if it's Denver, if it's New England, you've also seen some really hey, they've played great football, they've played great defense. There's been some great balance between who they are as a football team. But then we've seen some performances offensively where you go, wow, what was that? We forget, even as good as New England is, and they're sitting there atop the AFC, they lost to the Raiders and Steelers early in the year, in bad losses. And so you start to go, man, who is it that you trust in that big game, in that moment, to create those explosives and to have those opportunities? I mean, the Chiefs can do that as good as anybody. And that's why it scares you the most if they get in, because I think that you look at Indy in these losses and they haven't been able to run the football. That's why I still think, even though Buffalo getting killed by the Texans on Thursday night in our game, they still have a shot. They have Josh Allen. And if you say in 1 3-hour window, we just got to go stop Jonathan Taylor and we can beat the Colts, because clearly if you can stop him, it seems like that's the recipe for how you beat the Indianapolis Colts. If you can not let Jonathan Taylor hurt you, you can beat him. And so I think, to me, you start to look at it and you go, man, in the AFC, I truly believe it's one of those years that I don't think there's any true dominant team. And so I think that anybody that gets in has a shot. And if they're hot, they got a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And I think it's similar to, we've seen some years where you think of the Giants Super Bowl when they didn't have a great season and they were just on fire when they got to the playoffs. Right. I think we find the team that gets to the playoffs in the AFC that's playing the best on offense and is the hottest at that moment. They have just as much a chance as anybody else.
Gosh, it's so wild to think about. I mean, I feel like I just looked right now. Daniel Jones still top 5 in passing. It's not like he's not making plays happen when they do bottle up Taylor. It's just when they're not playing complementary football, it's just not working. And it is so exciting because everybody just gets a beautiful piece of what could be a wide open AFC, especially with the Chiefs looking like they do. I want to ask you about these Eagles. So I'm watching this game. I'm at the airport in Detroit, and I'm like, oh man, Eagles rolling, best team ever. And then by the time I get Wi-Fi on the plane, it's completely shot to hell. And it was crazy. And I would like to ask you about Saquon Barkley and this run game, because it was a season low 22. He said he's in, I don't know if the words were a funk or he's pretty demonstrative after the game. What's up with their run game? Why are they having so much trouble right now?
Yeah, it is interesting. I was in the same boat, Kay. I was with AD, got honored at the game last night. I go to AD's thing before the game to kind of see him and check in. It's 21-0. I'm thinking the Eagles are doing awesome. I'm like, all right, here we go. Like, Rams have no chance to kind of get to that one spot tonight, but it'll be a good chance going as the season goes. And then I get out of the event and I'm like, wait, what happened? It's 21-21. So I'm in the same boat. Here's what I would say. I think that sometimes you see this in a guy who's had as much success, and you think of last year, as many explosives as he had. Like, he had a lot of huge runs last season and just hasn't been able to find them this year. And sometimes those explosives don't really let us see the whole story of the run game. And so my point to that is those can really skew the numbers on a per carry basis. And I think this year, without the explosives, one of the things that kind of seems to me, I watched a couple of clips already of even yesterday, just feels like he's searching for some of those explosives instead of just getting every yard out of every run sometimes. And so I'd love to see maybe a little more, to me, as a running back. Hey, there's a couple times in a game where you get a chance where you can go in there and try and create a run if you want, but really, man, hitting the hole with speed, with violence, constantly over and over and over again, and almost wearing teams down in that way. And then you have some of those plays where, hey, if something opens up, I'll make a cut, I'll use some vision and go a different direction. I just see some runs there where where I'm like, man, I know how athletic and powerful and talented he is. I'd rather see him just literally hit a hole as fast and violent as he can, and get in there and get whatever yards are there. And then let's continue to just batter ram people that way, because you just see some runs where he's slowing down in the hole and trying to look for those big spaces. And I think that to me gives the defense time to react a little bit. And also they've just at times not had it. You look at some of the injuries they've had up front. So I think what you're having happen is it's just a combination of the year of like, hey, we just continue to not be able to be all on the same page. It's one guy here, one guy there. And then there's some runs where we're looking for too much instead of just getting whatever's there in this run. And so I think to me, you get in those funks in the run game, but all it takes is one game that you get those explosives. But now here we are, we're 12 weeks in, and it just hasn't happened the way they hoped to. And so I think to me, that really tells the story of their season. This run game's got to become something that they can lean on, because in every game we go back and look and say, oh man, we want to throw it more, we want to do this more. I look at it and go, man, I just think the efficiency of the run game is just not there. And that's something that's going to be, it's going to lead you to have these halves where you don't play well, because you're not scoring points, because you're running the football 3 times, you're getting 3 yards a carry, you ain't getting first downs, and so that's the reality. So they've got to figure out a way to make this game the run game come back and find some of those explosives, but more importantly, find the efficiency in the run game.
And I don't know if they do it against Chicago. Short week. The game is in Philly. Great. That is the Amazon Prime game the day after Thanksgiving. Take me through the dynamic of Thanksgiving with the Amazon crew, with the TNF on Prime crew. It's not your first rodeo. You guys have been together a long time. What are the vibes? Do you guys get in on Thursday and spend Thanksgiving together? What happens?
Yeah, most of us will get in Thursday afternoon, somewhere in there. Some of us come a little early, like myself. I take advantage of every city we get a chance to go to. I want to get an extra day in there, find a reason. Listen, we have a good time. We're gonna have a blast Thursday night. I'm sure we'll be staying up late as usual, and then getting ready for that Black Friday game. It's going to be awesome. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, I just see Caleb Williams and the Bears in person. Guy has continued to just find ways to create plays and make things happen in games. It's like one moment he's got a play in the end zone where it's a sack fumble and you're just scared, like, what are you doing? And the next moment he's making heroic plays and people are bringing pressures and he's continuing to ad lib and just extend plays. He's a fun guy to watch right now. And really one of the things you see that jumps off is from last year to this year, I think people said, hey, you won't be able to do that in college like you did in college. You won't be able to extend these plays. People are going to bring pressures. They're going to get you on the ground. And I would say his answer this year has been, yes, I can still do that. And I think that's the reality. You've seen growth out of him in this Ben Johnson offense. You've seen this team under Ben Johnson look strong, but also you've seen he can still be Caleb Williams, who we saw at USC, extending plays and making things happen after the play breaks down as well. And so I think it's going to be fun to watch them go against this Eagles team. It's perfect timing for them. This Eagles team coming off of a loss, a bad one in the sense of being up as much as they were against Dallas. And of course, it's the Dallas Cowboys they hate to lose to. They're going to probably get a pretty angry Eagles team, but also one that the reality is there's been some dissension. And so what kind of team are we going to get, and how does this game start probably leads to how the Chicago Bears have a chance to whether or not to win this thing.
It's Eagles-Bears in Philly on Prime. You're covering that Black Friday game between them. It was so interesting to hear all of this. And I'm thinking, I really like watching Caleb, and I'm from Chicago. I like just watching. It's fun to watch him learn. I think I see the game differently now at this point in my career, where it's like, gosh, it's really fun I like that he's not flawless. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's not.
Yes. And okay, this offensive line. Hey, don't forget this line too as well. There's some clips in this Steelers game just this week of them getting after people. They've had some awesome plays. I think of the Darnell Wright play against the Cincinnati Bengals. You think of some Jonah Jackson, some clips he's got on tape right now. They play with some violence, man. It's been fun to watch this group. So I'm excited to see them go against the one narrative people have with the Bears is like, who have they beat? Who have they really beat that's really good? It's a good quality win to beat the Steelers. But this week, this is one that they can hang on the mantle and say, hey, this season isn't just us having a bunch of comebacks, playing against teams that you think that we have a chance against. We can go against the best in the league and prove our mantle. And I think it's going to be part of what this group is going to be that way, is because this offensive line. They've protected Caleb really well, and they have been violent on tape. I love watching
Chicago needs to hear this. They're violent on tape because maybe Ryan Poles deserves some credit here for overhauling an offensive line. Up front, they made such huge investments in the line.
They did. I mean, you look at Joe Tooney coming in, Jonah Jackson from the Rams. That was a one-year experiment in LA. It just didn't work out. Really how things kind of fell to them. And so they end up sending him to the Bears. Tooney comes in. Now Dahlman from Atlanta. I mean, I think when you look at this group, the way Darnell Wright's continued to grow and improve, I think that's really been impressive. And I think that, there's an attitude that they play with. And you can tell that's probably driven by their head coach, Ben Johnson, who was playing, obviously had his most success in Detroit with that offensive line. And I'm sure he's trying to bring that identity and mentality to this group. And I think that's why they're fun to watch, because you see some guys that have the talent and ability, but also, man, they put some fun clips on tape, some stuff that they can send home to mama. That's for sure. I always say Darnell Wright's clip against the Cincinnati Bengals, and it hurt my heart because it's the Bengals. But man, that one right there, he'll show his grandkids. He'll show everybody for the next 50 years. So they've got some fun stuff on tape, and they play with an attitude. I love watching them play. So I'm looking forward to seeing them in person.
If I could transport into any locker room after a win, and there's great celebrations, half the league wins every Sunday, whatever it is, it would be Chicago. It looks like such a good time. Ben is an 11 out of 10 maniac. I always find myself like looking and searching for like on this 4-game win streak they have, and they're sitting here at 8-3. It's unbelievable. Watching the vibe, the body language, what it looks like to like gain more confidence week in, week out. And I love to see it. Do you think Caleb's the best? Is Caleb the best quarterback in that division?
Oh, man.
Right now?
No, I'm not going to say he's the best quarterback in the division yet. I think we got to see some sustained.
Crazy, though. Crazy, that's a conversation.
That it is I mean, it is where it's gone in 1 year is awesome. I look at it, and even when Ben Johnson got hired, I was looking at this one as similar to when, I came in with Sean McVay after Jared Goff's year. And so it's the impact of a guy who's a really successful coordinator, an elite dude, seems like he's going to have an awesome culture, a quarterback his rookie year who probably, obviously Caleb had a better year than maybe Jared did, but just wasn't maybe the impact that people thought he'd be. And now you need somebody that's in your ear, believes in you, and can create something around you as a winner. I look at that as the same. And so I was really interested to see if they'd have something similar to we did in 2017 in that sense of having success. Theirs has been a much different way, the Caleb Williams way, if you will, just chaotic experience. But Ben Johnson looks locked in that way. Like he truly believes in what it is that he thinks his philosophy and coaching is, the identity that he's going to create on his football team. And I see after wins, what I love the most, and it reminds me of Sean at that age, there's not like a joyous relief that we won. There is like a, you know what, you damn right, that's how we played today. Like it's like that attitude. And I think to me, that tells me this dude believes in what he's coaching. He thinks his players are buying into it. And there's a confidence there that they're building something special. And what it becomes this year, we'll see. But I think moving forward, they feel confident about the way the organization is moving.
If I'm you on that, I know you guys do the post game, all that. I'm finding a way to get into the locker room if they win against the Eagles. I just would want to feel you got win. I know it's not easy for you to sneak in anywhere. You're pretty tall, but I would try to weasel my way in there and be like just to be a fly on the wall if they beat the Eagles. Like it's hard to wrap my head around, but I hope it happens. And if they do,
Sean Payton did the drive, down the middle of the streets in Philly. Who knows what the Bears might do? I mean, listen, it's Black Friday. It's a holiday. You know what? We'll see. I'm sure they'll be celebrating in a big way. This will be the biggest one they've had all year if they do it.
Were the Bears on your contender list? They weren't in the end. If they beat the Eagles, will they be on that list? Will they be on which list?
If they beat the Eagles, I will definitely put them on the list. They'll be in the contender list. I don't think that they're going to be on the final list, though. And what I mean by that is, I think to me right now, I look at the Seahawks and the Rams, and I wish the Niners were healthy because right now I really see that the Seahawks and Rams are the two best teams in the NFC and maybe even the NFL. And I really think it's going to come down to those two teams in the NFC, which one stays healthy. Whichever one can stay healthy, I think is going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Just a couple more for you here. Got to ask you about Burrow, hoping to play on Thanksgiving. I don't know how to feel about what.
I was nervous. I was nervous, Kate. He was going to go this weekend. I was like, man, let's just wait, like just a little bit. I know it's Joe, but just wait a minute.
Well, who's making what are your thoughts when you hear, like, I don't know how to, I know what he wants. But I don't know. And after a lot, I don't know what I think the right decision is to not play him.
Yeah, I'm in between it. I mean, obviously, you got your quarterback, you're paying that much money, and there's an expectation of him being your leader of the franchise. And I know he feels that obligation to go out there and compete with his guys. Like, never leave your boys out there if you can be out there. That's always a thing in the NFL as a player that means the most to you, that you never leave your guys behind. If you feel like you're capable, you're on the football field. But, I went and, I visited him a little bit this season and got a chance to go by and see him, and we had their game and hang out with him in the house, and just all he's doing is literally eat, sleep, breathe, and just getting back on that football field. That's all he cares about. And then the only thing that means anything to him is getting back out there with his guys. And so I knew when I heard that he went full practice or whatever, or limited practice this last week, I was like, oh no, this guy is pushing them to let him on the field. The second he feels like he can do it, he wants to go. And I'm glad that they took a week. Now, whatever they decide to do this week, I think with it being a short week, does that really, a short week in the sense of like him going out and he's got to now, all right, you're going to go from Joe Flacco to him in 1 week. I kind of hope they wait like another week or two. Like, let's just,
Yeah.
because my thing today is like, you can feel good, right? Like as a player, and I've done this. I've had knee injuries, I've had ankle injuries. You go out and you feel good in practice and you're like, hey, I can get through the practice. I feel great. But the violence of an NFL Sunday and doing it 60, 70 times, it's just hard to ever replicate. And I think what you would hate is you get out there and midway through the game, it's like, man, this is a little much on me, or this is a little bit too much pain, or I'm feeling it,
Right.
and you got to take him out. So I just think that you're better off saying, hey, what's the absolute longest we can push him, and he's going to be mad at us. I mean, I've had some run-ins. I shared this last week. Like, I'll never forget I called our team doctor one time in Cincy and made him drive to the facility
No.
and threatened I was like, listen, I'll fight you if you don't clear me for this game. All right. Like, I'm playing.
Were you
the
3-8?
No, but my point is that like you get like that as a player. Like, you can only
get
see
it.
one thing. I'm playing in this game. You know what I mean? And so I'm worried about that part, but hopefully they can hold him off long enough to feel really comfortable about where he's at and get enough reps, like live practices, everything else of him out there on it, on his foot, playing, throwing, pushing off, to
Yeah.
feel really good about him moving forward.
But what does that mean, hold him out there? How much should it be up to him? Well, hold him off.
Listen, it's
Is he
always
not
up
the
to us, Jay.
employee? Like, you can be a frustrated employee calling just saying, get me in there, but it's, how much of a negotiation should it be?
Well, listen, here's the thing. I'm of the old school mindset. And listen, any football player that wants to be on the football field that next week can be on the football field if they want to be. That's just the
I
truth.
like that.
So
Okay.
you forget. Sometimes we make this more complex than it is. Like, you are the one giving the feedback of how you feel. So like we can read into
Yeah.
like how people feel. Like, I don't care what it is, right? What injury. You're the one giving the feedback. So if you really want to be on the football field, you could be on the football field. So
Sounds like he's
I
playing.
yeah, so it sounds like he is, but I think that they're going to probably, and my point to it, Kate, is I think it's less about fighting him off. It's more about, all right, hey, Joe, here's the established grounds we have for not necessarily how you feel, but here's the process for how we get you back on the field. And what's that look like? It's a 3-week window. It's a 2-week window. We want to see you, do this much practice before we're clearing you. And it has nothing to do with how anybody's feeling. We think that this is the progression for what gets you back to playing your style of football.
But your style of football is something that I've really listened very diligently to you talk about specifically, as you're close to that organization, just your mind, how it works. And you sort of talked about his play style and the injuries, right? How those two things play off of each other, let's say. Whenever he does get back there, whether it's Thanksgiving night on NBC, up against a division rival, is there a way that you'd like to see something change with the way to keep him upright?
Well, I think you look at it, I'd say this, and I don't mean this from like an age standpoint, but like look at some of your true pocket passers that still play in the game right now. Like I always say, like I would love to see Joe lean more into like what Matthew Stafford is.
Yeah.
In the sense of when plays are broken down or plays aren't there. I mean, you look at him last night, like you just get rid of the ball. Like, let's get the ball out. Let's move to the next down. And I'm not saying that you're giving up on plays, but you're trusting like I have the capability mentally, how sharp of a passer, how accurate I am, what I can do with the football in my hands and read defenses and understand coverages and know what I need to do to get the football to my guys. Like, I can trust that I can give this down up, and on the next down, I'll prove to you that I can make up for it. And sometimes I think guys feel like they can make up for it in the down. And you got to start to realize, like, hey, maybe it's the next down that I get us to without us losing yardage, without me getting injured, without something bad happening. And on the next down, I'll make up for it. I just think of, like, I remember even Peyton. I mean, I can remember Peyton Manning, like, hitting the deck. Like, guys would come scot-free and he's going to just hit the deck. Like, him and Eli, like, they were great at that, right? Tom sometimes, like, just hit the deck, take the sack and say, hey, you know what? Next play, like, I'm going to convert on this third down and long, and then we're going to keep it
Right.
moving. We're going to go score. And that's my point. Is I think sometimes with these things, it's like, hey, Joe, you being healthy is number one. And I'd love for you to learn, like, sometimes some of these plays, we don't have to extend them further than what they are, especially when they're three steps or ball where the ball's supposed to get out. If it's not there, let's move to the next down and then let's go execute the next one.
Last one for you. What do you know about this Lane Kiffin Tigers thing, right? Your LSU Tigers, big decision. I'm seeing reports. I'm seeing like confirmations and all. LSU, big offer, 7-year, $90 million. Are we back in that hire?
Man, I tell you what, I should have got into college coaching apparently.
There's still
But
time,
no,
buddy.
yeah, no, I'm good. Thank you. I got, 4 kids, 5
Yeah, I was
dogs. It's
gonna
all good.
say your life's
I got
pretty
too many
good. It's
animals.
pretty good to
There-
be Andrew Whitworth. Here's
Too
what I
many
heard today.
animals right now.
Here's what I heard. You just dropped by Joe Burrow's house, like to check in with him. You're golfing with not only Matthew Stafford but Devontae Adams also, and then you are taking extended trips and like enjoying the second family vibe of your TNF on
Oh, yeah.
Prime family. Like life's pretty good for Andrew, with lots to be thankful for this Thanksgiving. I love that.
That's right. There's no doubt there is a lot to be thankful for. But yeah, I'm excited. Let's see what happens with the Tigers. That's a tough one though. Okay, I don't know. I'm
Why?
in between. I
I don't
hate
know
the
enough.
college
Tell me.
system. I just hate the college system. I hate that this is even a thing to hire a coach right now in the middle of a team season and an opportunity they have to go compete for a championship. I know Nick Saban shared some thoughts on that, and I'm right there. I was, Nick's first recruiting class. He's always been somebody I've listened up to. And I agree with him, man. I mean, it's a very flawed system that this is where we're at. And it's unfortunate because in one hand, I would be so excited for us to get a great quality football coach, whoever that is. If it's Lane Kiffin, that's awesome. But on the other hand, like I would also be a little disappointed in him that you would like leave a team that has leaned on you and listened to you and fought their butts off to put themselves in a position to go win a
Yeah.
championship. So I just think that we've unfortunately put college football in a place that just, in my opinion, just it's gotten a little gross and it's just not fun to watch in that sense. Like I hate that that's become how we're doing these kids and teaching them because we forget these guys are in really honestly some of the most formidable years of their life. Like they're learning how to become men and they're looking at these head coaches. They're looking at these people in administration and above them that are involved in all this NL stuff, lawyers, agents, you name it. They're looking at those guys to figure out what it's like to go be an adult, what it's like to go be a grown up, what kind of person do I want to be? And some of the things that I think intangibly we're teaching them are just unfortunate because it's not all about the money. Sometimes life is about where you're at and who you are and the obligations and commitments that you've made, and do you live up to them? And those are the things that are going to actually, at the end of your life and the end of your time, you're going to have the most gratification from and get the most out of.
I know you don't want to be a coach, but gosh darn it, you would be such a freaking good coach because it's about the football and then it's about being the man and everything in between. And your opinions.
Sean tries every year. I tell Sean the same thing.
I
I'll just come by and
know.
say hello. I'll come give him a hug.
Well, for now, you'll just enjoy sitting back with your 3-time All-Pro tackle resume, Super Bowl champion ring shining in the background, an analyst for TNF on Prime. Eagles, Bears, huge implications in the NFC in this one. And then, of course, Fitz and Wit, everybody to go subscribe and download. And happy birthday to Fitzy and happy Thanksgiving to you and the whole Prime family.
I appreciate it, Kay. Thank you so much. Happy
I
B-Day.
appreciate you. You look great. This whole thing is working. I love everything about it. We'll be back after this. Huh? Mhm. Okay. Can we make sure we're not still trying to get chat on? Can we just cut that? Okay,
Yeah.
good. No Chato to Cinco world. Okay, let's see here. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, cool. Can you explain to me what he said about Saquon?
So he was saying he thinks that
It's
Saquon's
on
trying to,
Saquon.
that
Not that he didn't
Saquon's
say
trying
that,
to,
but like,
that he's
please.
trying to make explosive plays instead of taking some of the yardage that's there and then trusting that the explosive plays are going to come in time. And it was interesting listening to Saquon after the game yesterday. He did take, and it didn't feel like it was just lip service, that he was just like protecting the O-line, protecting the play calling. Like, he did take some of it on himself. He's like, I have to reevaluate. I got to go back and watch tape,
Right.
reevaluate some of the cuts I'm making, things like that.
Got it. Understood. So not the O-line.
Yeah, and he did go in a
I
little
love
bit.
the shout out to Chicago's O-line.
Yeah.
I absolutely fucking loved that. I'm sure it's being talked about a lot, but I haven't given it any thought really. So
yeah, and especially Ryan Poles has come
for
under
him to
so
say
much
that
heat.
they're violent, like for him to just like out of nowhere sing, I loved that. Now I'm going to pay more attention to that. Chicago fans will eat that up. I think it's big that he's going to put you on the contender list, Chicago. Like, with somebody whose opinion matters to me. Like, as I just think I would love to be on his, Santa's list. So if he's on there, that matter. Now, will it matter in the grand scheme of things in the shadow of the LA Rams? Probably not, but that's okay. It's so funny how everyone just says there's not really a reason for Matthew Stafford to be like I would think it'd be more like, well, Devontae.
Yeah.
But no, it's more about like the man.
Yeah.
I would. What were you saying? What? Oh, I wasn't settled 3 years ago. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. Everybody's answer is that. I don't think I have this. Oh, here.
Right at the top.
Welcome back to Up and Adams. Okay, we've got big news here. FanDuel Sportsbook launching in Missouri on December 1st. And with that comes this offer. Check this out. If you sign up before that December 1st launch, you get $400 in bonus bets once you make your first $5 bet. So if you live in Kansas City, if you live in, oh my gosh, let me think of places, St. Louis, Columbia, anywhere else in Missouri, make sure you sign up now and you can get your $400. That is a very sweet deal, about as sweet as you're going to get. I'm going to be in Missouri, I believe, twice in December, which is crazy. And I'm excited to usher in these vibes with you guys getting launched. So get this offer. And by the way, you have until the 1st to do it. So do it right now. We'll be back. Hamilton, we're going to Missouri next weekend.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
This weekend?
Next Monday. Yeah. Right after Thanksgiving.
Okay. Got it. Excited to usher in all the madness. It's very fun when a state goes live. Very, very fun. FanDuel crushes, and I can't wait to be part of that. It's very cool to be part of. I'm excited.
It really is. And especially, we both have connections to this state in particular. So it's going to be, they all mean a lot, but this one's going to mean a little bit more.
What was the winery called? You know that I was talking about Lake of the Ozarks? God. And like Shady Gators with Will Compton? We know the winery I used to go to, like when you went to Mizzou?
Yes. I'm trying to remember the name now.
It was like the A-frame. Everyone is obsessed with that. What is it called?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking? Oh, Les Bourgeois.
I know exactly what you're talking. Yes.
Les Bourgeois! Shut up! Gosh, the amount of fake ID that I had every fake ID in the book. Les Bourgeois was a big one. Gosh, that was fun. I, of course, didn't like that because I don't know. How do you leave? It's like being on a cruise. It's like being in the windows. How do you get out? I need to get out. And when you sign up for something like that, it's like when you go on like a 3-hour boat tour, and you're like, how do I'm done. I'm done 30 minutes in. I've seen the orcas. I'm happy. I saw a little whale thing 70 miles away. I saw a little, oh, I think that was a whale. Okay, that's cool. I'm done. Can we go move on? Gosh, that's so funny. Les Bourgeois, I haven't thought about that forever. I got an invite. I got an invite to, like, I don't know if this is going to track with you, but when I was at Mizzou and then living in St. Louis, like Nelly would throw a party every year. it was like a ball, like a thing.
Yeah, I
And
did not get to go to Nellie's parties. You're correct.
I did. I did. And I somehow got back on the invite list somehow this was like 20 years ago. And I'm like, I think I'm going to go. Like, I think I'm going to go to that and like go post up at Nick's Pub.
You better. Can go to CVS, get some Band-Aids. And,
yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. So that'll be really fun. But yeah, Missouri played a big role. We never met each other there, but we were destined to be besties from that. Oh my gosh. Les Bourgeois is crazy. Les Bourgeois sounds like we were literally in the middle of Missouri.
Yep.
All right, we like to do this on Mondays, Monday Night Football. Hamilton, how many Monday Night Footballs do we have left?
We got what? Including this one, it's 6, I believe.
They go right to the end, yeah, every Monday? Yeah. I don't know. Do they? That's great.
Not week 18. Yeah.
Not week 18.
Just through week 17.
Okay. Chad Ochocinco stood us up today. I don't know how to handle that going forward.
I talk with him.
I will think about that, of course, at some point. Alas, it is Monday night, and we have another brilliant FanDuel secret menu. We teamed up with them. Beautiful collab, never dump each other, always great. And these are my custom specials for you. You cannot get these on any competitor, on anything else, anywhere. These are the custom specials, and here they are. My favorite one tonight, Christian McCaffrey, Rico Dowdle. If they combine for 3+ touchdowns, you can get that right now at +165. Now, Christian McCaffrey, as we saw, looks pretty good. He had 3 touchdowns all on his lonesome last week. So any combo that results in 3 scores between these two juggernauts gets you a win in this one. There's also, there's other ones on there. It's the Kay Adams Monday night menu. You go and you find the game on the sports book. And those are the vibes. I don't have what this is written in here, so I don't know what you want me to do with this, Ham. Do you have any idea? Did Kat send a text potentially? It's not in the script.
With this maple matcha? Oh. It was in the one that was earlier. Yeah, it's the, hold on.
Blank Street Coffee.
Blank Street Coffee maple matcha. How is it?
It's a secret menu item you can get here in New York City, although they have Blank Street Coffees like literally everywhere. It tastes like grass. It tastes like a Macau in the middle of Missouri. And anybody who pretends to like this, you're lying. You're literally lying.